So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350. We have, nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous, but you know, we'll see. We think we have very good grounds.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Donald Trump is back in the White House, and within hours, his pen was in action. In just one day, he signed a barrage of executive orders aimed at undoing Joe Biden's policies and charting a new course for America. But what exactly are executive orders? Executive orders are legally binding directives from the president to federal agencies, carrying the force of law without needing congressional approval. However, they can be challenged in court or overturned by subsequent presidents.
This week I will reinstate.
Trump isn't the first president to use executive orders controversially. Here are a few that shaped history. In 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which led to the forced relocation and internment of over 120,000 Japanese Americans during World War II. The order was justified as a national security measure following the attack on Pearl Harbor. However, it resulted in significant human rights violations, stripping individuals of their homes, businesses, and freedom without due process. The consequences included long-term economic and psychological harm to internees and their descendants. In 1988, the U.S. government formally apologized and provided reparations through the Civil Liberties Act. President Barack Obama signed the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Executive Order in 2012 to provide legal protection for undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children. The order allowed eligible individuals to receive work permits and protection from deportation. However, it faced legal challenges on the grounds that it bypassed Congress, with critics arguing it exceeded presidential authority. While DACA provided relief for hundreds of thousands of recipients, it also created uncertainty as the program was subject to ongoing legal battles and potential reversal by future administrations. In 2017, President Donald Trump issued an executive order restricting entry from several predominantly Muslim countries, citing national security concerns. The order, commonly referred to as the Muslim ban, faced immediate legal challenges and widespread protests. Courts initially blocked the order, but a revised version was eventually upheld by the Supreme Court. The ban affected families, businesses, and diplomatic relations, reinforcing concerns about discrimination and religious freedom. The Biden administration later rescinded the order in 2021, reversing its impacts. President Trump's executive actions mark a sharp reversal from President Biden's policies, leading to major shifts in key areas. On climate action, President Biden made a decisive move to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement, aiming to combat global climate change. In contrast, President Trump has once again withdrawn the U.S., citing economic concerns and prioritizing energy independence. In efforts to promote racial equity, Biden introduced policies to enhance diversity and inclusion in federal hiring. However, President Trump is now reversing these initiatives, claiming they impose unnecessary burdens on businesses and institutions. Regarding the federal workforce, Biden repealed Trump's controversial Schedule F order, which allowed easier termination of federal employees. But with his return to office, Trump has reinstated the order, arguing it will streamline government operations and remove bureaucratic inefficiencies. Let's break down Trump's most significant executive orders, their legality, and potential impact.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
What about that one in the court? That one is likely to be passed.
Could be. I think we have good grounds, but you could be right. I mean, you'll find out. It's ridiculous. We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. But, we'll see. We have very good grounds.
First, Trump signed an order to end birthright citizenship, aiming to strip citizenship from children born to undocumented immigrants. However, legal experts argue that the 14th Amendment guarantees birthright citizenship, making this order likely unconstitutional. If enforced, it could face immediate legal challenges, impact millions, and spark widespread civil rights protests.
Any bad ones up there?
Withdrawing from
What
the
is this one?
withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. So we paid $500 million to World Health when I was here, and I terminated it. China with 1.4 billion people. We have 350. Nobody knows what we have because so many people came in illegally.
Next, Trump issued an order to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization, citing mismanagement and unfair treatment. Legally, the president can initiate the withdrawal, but since Congress controls funding, a full exit may prove difficult. This decision could result in the U.S. losing global influence and weakening its collaboration on international health crises.
This next executive order is about protecting America from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Again, a crisis at the border, but it goes beyond that and it implicates other executive powers as well.
Okay.
President Trump, if cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations, would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
Trump also declared a national border emergency, deploying military forces to reinforce border security. Legally, presidents have broad emergency powers, but courts may intervene to set limits. This order could lead to international backlash and place a heavy strain on federal resources.
Yes, sir. First, we have a list of pardons and commutations relating to events that occurred on January 6, 2021.
Okay, and how many people is this?
I think this order will apply to approximately 1,500 people, sir.
So this is January 6th, and these are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon. We have about 6 commutations in there where we're doing further research.
Okay.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you, sir.
So this is a big one. Anything you want to explain about this? We hope they get them. We hope they come out tonight, frankly. We're expecting it. Approximately 1,500 people. Six commutations.
Were there any cases you did not commute or pardon of people?
We're looking at different things, but the commutations would be the ones that we'll take a look, and maybe it'll stay that way, or it'll go to full pardon.
Finally, Trump issued pardons for individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot, fulfilling a campaign promise to his supporters. The president has broad constitutional authority to grant pardons, making this move legally sound. However, the decision could further deepen political divisions and influence future unrest in the country. With these sweeping changes, legal battles are inevitable. Here are the key challenges ahead. First, civil rights lawsuits. Expect immediate legal action against new immigration and border policies, with activists and advocacy groups ready to challenge their constitutionality. Next, state pushback. Blue states, such as California, are poised to resist environmental rollbacks, possibly refusing to comply with federal mandates on emissions and clean energy. Finally, congressional oversight. Democrats in Congress may challenge significant funding cuts, especially in areas like climate change initiatives and healthcare reforms. leading to possible clashes over budget allocations. Trump's executive orders set the stage for a dramatic political showdown. Will they succeed or be blocked in court? Only time will tell.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.